Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight. Well, now let's move on to our first item on our menu, and that's the Samsung One UI 8. It's a big thing, John, that we got. I know you have it on your S25 series. How about talk to us about some of the things that works and some of the things that don't work? But I know this is a big one.
Okay, so I mean, I'll start with the positive because there's a big negative. But some of the things that work, they did correct the fingerprint direction issue where it used to always say move up no matter where you would touch on your lock screen. Now it actually directs you correctly towards the fingerprint sensor.
Hoorah! Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
They've also improved, I mean, structurally, if you want to call it structurally, the layout and everything, it's basically the same as what we had in One UI 7. So you're not going to notice much, but they have corrected some little things, like now the play controls are labeled on the lock screen. The buttons, it used to be that when you long, Karink, do you know if when you long press on a notification, if those buttons are labeled in One UI 7 or not?
I can check it.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that was not fixed in One UI 7, but maybe it was. If it's not fixed in One UI 7, it definitely has been fixed in One UI 8. That's another improvement. They've also improved on the quick settings where there's the volume slider. There's a button next to it to change the ringer mode. So there's ring, vibrate, and off. And it used to just say like it used to just say on, off. That's all it would say as you were cycling through it. Now it actually tells you like of what it's actually turning it on to. Like it'll say vibrate. It'll say the button is. It'll tell you the state of it, and it'll tell you what it will do when you press it. So it's working perfectly fine now, and you do know which mode you're in, and you definitely know which mode you're changing to. So I have fixed that.
Regarding notifications, when you long press notification, I didn't see any unlabeled button. Now I tried. It has the turn off notification and the details. So
okay.
I think that this was fixed in One UI 7.
Okay, yeah, so that was already fixed. But yeah, that's all I've noticed so far. Those are the good things.
Really, I think for me, though, the big one is that fingerprint reader, because it was a problem, right? Someone who's not very familiar with their phone would be kind of pulling their hair, almost up to the top. And it's kind of telling me to move up to the top, basically confusing people as to where exactly that fingerprint is if you're not familiar with it. So for me, this is a big plus on Samsung's part for fixing that, because it was a bad one.
Yeah, it was. But you want to know what's even worse than that is not being able to use your phone with the screen hidden. And that's a bug that's been introduced with One UI 8. So keep this in mind if you're going to be getting this update and installing it anytime soon. What's happened is if you're using Samsung's TalkBack and you hide the screen, you can no longer use Explore by Touch or any pass-through gestures, meaning any two-finger scroll gestures or even the actual pass-through gesture that is to double tap and hold with 4 fingers by default. That doesn't even work. So you basically have to just swipe through everything, double tap, or use the other multi-finger gestures or the ankle gestures, and that's all you can do. And not only does it make it pretty much unusable, it creates an issue where if you install the update with your screen hidden, your phone will reboot, and when it comes back up, you have to swipe up with 2 fingers the first time to put in your pin or pattern, and you won't be able to do that. So you'll get stuck, basically. And what you'll have to work around is to unhide your screen, which most people will not think of to even try. But hopefully if you're hearing this and you're getting the update soon, and you run into this problem, I mean, I recommend unhiding it immediately before you even install the update. But if you end up in this situation, then you'll have to unhide the screen by using the talkback menu, or if you've assigned a gesture to it, you can unhide it that way. And then you'll be able to swipe up with 2 fingers and put in your pin or pattern.
That is really interesting, that is not working. So I'm thinking probably maybe when one hides the screen, there's something in there that is not allowing it to see what is being done. But this is why, guys, we've been talking about the fact that these companies need to at the very least, have some blind person in there, to test those things like that. Because if there had been a blind person working for them, I mean, even if you guys, Samsung, even if you're only wanting to pay that person $500 a month, I think it's worth it, right, Kevin? I believe it's worth paying $500 because that guy would have found it, because a lot of us probably use that hide screen. I know I personally don't use it. I've never used my phone with a hidden screen, but there are times I can see why that would come in handy. For example, if you're commuting on a bus, for example, or on a train or whatever transport method you're on, where you have other people, for example, I'm not sure you want everyone seeing your screen. So it makes sense to have that hidden screen. And if that breaks that feature of being able to interact with the phone, then that blind person is messed up, is toast. And so, come on, guys, help us get some blind person in there. Karen, do you want to work for Samsung? I know you're kind of not liking them anymore. What says you?
For $500, I'm going to take the job. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I'm going to take the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it's not much, but at least though you are helping the blind community. Because for me, even if I'm to do it for free, I wouldn't mind doing it for free, to be honest. But because I'm looking out for my friends. I'm looking out for my people. My people.
Well, you don't need to make it for free for a big company like Samsung.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're right, but that's how passionate I am about accessibility. I wouldn't mind doing it for free because I know I'm helping a blind person somewhere.
Yeah, but the problem with depending on people doing it for free is you get people like me who I've been running the beta for 2 months, but I'm not even using Samsung's TalkBack. I'm using Google's TalkBack on there. Had they been paying me, I would have been using Samsung's TalkBack, even though I don't like it. So it's clear that they didn't have anybody testing this that actually hides their screen, because it would have been very obvious. Like most of the time my screen is not hidden, but I hide it often enough that I would have definitely noticed this and reported it within the 2 months of testing the beta, had I been running the Samsung's version.
For a long time, you've been running the beta for a while before you got this final release. So really, Samsung, quit being greedy. We need to have blind people everywhere, really, because they help in detecting this type of things. But what version of TalkBack, though, does it come with? Does it have 16.1 or just 16?
It has 16.0 without any good image description features. So, yeah, it's based on 16.0.
Wow, I'm surprised they still don't have that image description. So this is why, in my never to be humble opinion, Samsung should just have TalkBack coming directly from the Play Store instead of their own store. I don't know why this is so hard to do, but anyway, I'm hoping and praying that this becomes the norm very soon and very soon. Dancing Queen?
I'm waiting until October to get the update.
Well, October is not too far from here, Carrie, and we're talking of less than 2 weeks. Hopefully, though, that they will push it out early October.
Yeah, and then I'll hide the screen and use Samsung TalkBack and try it.
Yeah, hide the screen and see what happens. I know that my S23 Plus qualified for the beta, but when I went in there and tap on join, and it says one needs an unlocked device, and mine is unlocked, factory unlocked. However, I'm still waiting. It hasn't shown up. And I hope it's not like the last time that I had to use a SIM card. John, do you know if that is still the case?
That's what I was about to tell you. I usually have to have I don't know if it's still the case, but at one point I had to have a SIM card in there for it to work.
Yeah, because it didn't work for me when I was joining the 7 beta. I had to put in a SIM card in there before it worked. But, when I went there this time, it says you needed an unlocked phone, and I'm using an unlocked phone that does not have a SIM card. So this is one of those things that I don't like Samsung for. Their betas are kind of, I want to use the word, but I can't use it on here.
I'll use it.
Frankly, they need to do better with the betas because it's not very intuitive and it's a hit or miss. I don't.
It's hard to get into the beta, and then they put so much regional restrictions and carrier restrictions on it, and then on top of that, they close it after a certain amount of people. Like they said, they'll straight up tell you that this isn't open anymore. Too many people have already joined, and it's like, why do you want to limit the amount of people that are testing this? The more people that are testing it, the better.
Exactly. And the funniest thing is that when I went into the options, I found the leave the beta, and so I tap on it. It says, "Are you sure you want to exit out of the beta?" And I said no, but I haven't had it. So I think I'm going to put in an old SIM card if I could find it, because I don't have a physical SIM card. Maybe I'll ask. You know what? None of my family has a physical SIM card either, because my wife is invisible, and so is my daughter, and they're both using, the eSIM. So I don't know. I hope I find an old SIM card, and I'll put it in there and see if I could get it. Well, alongside with all of that, we also have the Google QPR based on Android 16, and the Pixel 10 finally qualifies for that QPR program, and that would allow you to get that QPR2 Beta 2. I got that, but not much really has changed. A lot of those things are just visuals. Mine came in at 3.1 gigs when I got it all downloaded. However, there are probably maybe a couple of things that worth the mention here. In other words, something in the privacy settings where you could use your Pixel device, your phone, as a step counter, apart from using maybe something like your watch and all of that. So I'm going to go into my system settings. I'm going to unlock my screen here.
9:45 a.m. System UI. Device unlocked. Settings. System. Languages, gestures, time.
So I'm in the system settings, and what we want to do is to go into that privacy.
Security and privacy. App security. Device lock permissions. 20 of 29.
And we tap here.
Security and privacy.
And we need to go down to
privacy controls. Permissions. Controls. 11 of 17.
There we go. And
privacy controls. Navigate up. Button.
Then here we're looking at
Health Connect. Manage app access to health data. 5 of 14.
Health Connect.
14 items.
So if we tap on here.
Health Connect. Navigate up. Button. Out of list.
So here in the Health Connect, you could tap on
Setup button.
There's a setup.
No recent access. Apps which have recently accessed your data will automatically.
And if you tap on setup, you could add a device, or if you go down toward the bottom and tap on devices.
Devices. Manage your connected devices. 6 of 8.
So it doesn't matter which one you tap on, whether you tap on setup or add devices. So if I tap on add devices.
Navigate up. button. Out of list.
And I put
Showing
my
items
finger
1 of 2
near
of
the
2.
top.
Pixel 10 Pro XL. Current device 2 of 2. In list 2
So
items.
it shows that as my current device. And if I tap on it,
Device info. Navigate up. Button.
you
Out of
have
list.
the
Step manage device. Steps on. Switch 4 of
steps
7.
are on.
Manage device. Heading 5 of 7.
And so
See device data 6 of 7.
if you have your watches connected to it, you'll see that in here alongside with the devices as well.
Devices.
But so that's another thing that I saw that is there. But the other thing that
So
we
if you
also-
have, let me comment on this first. If you have a Pixel Watch and a Pixel phone, does that mean you get twice as many steps?
oh yeah, maybe you get double steps. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
And does it actually make you burn twice as many calories? That
It
would
should
be
make
nice
you
too.
burn twice the number of calories that you could have had. But but the whole idea, so you could have that, your watch could be accessing it. So if you don't want to use your watch, at least you can still have your
Yeah, that would be
your phone doing it.
that would be nice because I've had days where I forgot to put my watch on. It sounds silly, but once you get used to tracking this sort of stuff,
Yeah,
if you go for like a long walk and you realize like
You didn't
you
have
don't
your
have your
watch.
watch on, you're like, oh man, I just
I
went for a
forgot
walk
it
for
this
nothing.
time. Yeah,
So it'd be nice to have your phone. Like you'll never leave. At least I would never leave without my phone. So at least it would be nice to have that backup method for tracking your steps in that event that you forgot to put your watch on or something.
Now, the other thing that I'm thinking of, and I thought about you, John and Sally, I'm looking at cookies, and I'm like, those boys probably like their cookies. So it has to do with that home screen or icon changing of icons. So I'm going to,
Home screen 1 of 5.
here's my home screen. So I'm going to swipe down and bring up the,
Wallpaper and style.
so wallpaper and style, and I tap.
Wallpaper and style. Navigate up.
So what happens is that we scroll down toward the bottom and we find
Icons. Circle. Default.
icons, and by default is the circle. Now, if I tap here,
Navigate up.
so starting from the bottom left, we got the choices. I think we've got 5. So the default is the circle.
Selected. Circle 1 of 5.
So we
In
got
list,
circle,
5
and
items.
then to the right of it,
Square 2 of 5.
there's a square.
4-sided cookie 3 of 5.
And this is where I was thinking of John and Sally. That cookie, you guys probably would be setting yours to a cookie. And then to the right of that,
7-sided cookie 4 of 5.
a 7-sided cookie. Maybe we'll throw that to carry in. And the last one here
Arch 5 of 5.
is the arch. So here's how it works. So for example, if let's say I choose,
Square 2 of 5.
no, I think
4-sided cookie 3 of 5.
let's say I choose the cookie.
4-sided cookie. Selected.
There you go. Now that I tapped on 4-sided cookie, now near the top right corner is an apply button.
Apply. Out of list. Home lock screen wallpaper preview.
So I've applied that, and
Icons. 4-sided cookie. Default.
see now 4-sided cookie is my default. I think I
Navigate up.
prefer my
Circle 1 of 5.
circle.
Select.
I would change it to square if it would solve the issue with the Pixel launcher where when you're exploring, it keeps going to the home screen between icons. I know it doesn't bother you, but that bothers
Oh,
me so much.
Let me try that.
Square 2 of 5.
I would have the guess that it doesn't fix it, but
And then
maybe it makes it a little better.
Home screen lock screen wallpaper preview.
yeah. So
Layout. Icons. Square default.
and of course below that is
Layout.
that
Small.
layout where you got
Navigate
the
up. Selected. Small.
small,
1 of, medium 2 of 4. Large 3 of 4. XL 4 of 4.
all of that stuff. So I got mine set to
Oh.
square.
Home screen 1. Gemini.
Yeah. So those are the 2 things that I think that are probably that worth the mention, if you will.
Something-
Other than that,
Something I wanted to mention about the
lots of it is
icons,
visual.
the
Yeah.
icon theming is that now I mentioned it because although it's not an accessibility feature, it might help some low vision people. If you set them to be monochrome themed, what used to happen is that you had to depend on the app developer to supply a monochrome version of their app icon. So if you turn this on, you'd have some monochrome, some not, because developers just don't do this kind of thing, right? So Google has changed their Play Store rules to say, if you don't supply us one, we'll automatically create one. So now you can actually turn on the monochrome theme for your icons, and they will all be monochrome. So I know at this point in my vision loss, it doesn't make a difference to me, but I do remember when this would have been very helpful for me to have them monochrome.
You are right, John, and that is right there alongside with this icon stuff. So, for example,
Icons. Square.
I
Default.
tap here,
Navigate.
and then at the bottom right, you're going to find that button that says
Off. Themed icons. Switch.
So by default, it's turned off. But if you tap on this, it's going to apply that theme to all of the icons, even if the guy didn't do it. So it's going to be like a monochrome kind of looking thing. But if you don't like that, because some people may not like it, but some may. But this is where you turn that on. So if I tap on that,
On.
see, and then
Apply.
you tap apply
On
there
screen,
on the
lock
top
screen, wallpaper
right
preview.
corner. And so visually, my
Home.
whatever will take
Home.
that. Yeah, and I can see it, because I can see a little bit, and I'm looking at some of my icons now, and they're looking kind of dark, So that's how you go about that. And thanks, John, for bringing that into the discussion, because that's one of those things, part of the visuals.